Hey Aquarius, I've got your card, so let's get started. The card that popped out while I was shuffling was the Seven of Wands. The 7 at the top speaks of the 7th house on the astrological wheel. That's how I see the numerology in these cards. That is your partnerships and how you identify who you are as a person through those relationships with others. It's also counseling and dealing with open enemies. The wands represent fire sign energy. The fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I have a feeling you may be dealing with a Leo, and I'll give you the heads up as to that in a second. But this card speaks to defending your ground, defending your territory, defending your stance, possibly even having to debate about something. It's emotional and it's impetuous and can feel very fiery. It's probably an emotional based debate if that's the case that you're dealing with. I see this arguing or dealing with people in the mall or whatever, doing your shopping. Looking for those deals and being mad that somebody got it or something like that. And, I was looking at this spread. I was talking about on the 19th and the 20th, Mars moving into Pisces, which is your second house. That's impulse in the second house as well. So it could be that you are impulse buying or reactionary spending in some way. Be careful of that. Mars in the second house can be good because it could be, earning extra money and getting overtime, but it could also be spending. So understand that that's how that can play out. Now, the underlying theme or the overarching energy that I got for this spread is a major arcana card. It's the third card in the major arcana. It's the Empress. The 3 for me represents the third house, which is speaking to that, especially the Uranus side of the Jupiter-Uranus opposition, that it'll be occurring in your third house. The third house is the house of Gemini. It could speak to communication, short-distance trips, siblings, cousins, or neighbors. Also, Mercury is going to be going retrograde mid-month. The Empress is a major arcana card, represents the planet Venus, and Venus is moving into your first house, the house of Aquarius. Venus is the planet that represents love and values. It also represents harmony and beauty. It can be resources as well, money. The Empress card represents being abundant or having the abundant lifestyle, or, feeling abundant or prosperous. It also speaks to the feminine principle. Could be definitely feeling yourself this month. Venus is moving into Aquarius at the very beginning of the month. Makes perfect sense on that end. But the Empress is also a productive card. She's a producer. She's able to use what is around her to make her life better in some way, using her skills or what is around her. Now, this could involve a Taurus or a Libra because Venus rules those two signs as well. We also had the House of Libra show up in that 7 of Wands card. So, just giving you as much information about this spread as I can and as many different avenues as I can. But the fact that she's in the upright, as long as you pay attention to your bank account and your resources and try to get the best deal possible. And even, I could see this as trying to get somebody to price match. You know what I mean? It could be as mundane as that. But yeah, look for the best deals and you'll end up at the, in the end feeling like the Empress is the best advice I can give you looking at the cards that I see. Now, the first in the top 3 for clarity is another major arcana card. It is the Strength card. And this is where I said it might involve a Leo, because there's a lion right here, and that is representative of Leo. I also see the infinity sign, and that reminds me of Scorpio, so that may involve somebody of that duality. Maybe you're dealing with kids, and one's a Leo and one's a Scorpio, or something to that effect. But like I said, I see the infinity symbol as Scorpio, and this lion is instantaneously, I think, of Leo. But whenever I see this card when I'm doing a spread for myself or a friend, I always think, have the strength to keep your damn mouth shut. Because she is fighting with this beast to keep the mouth shut. Doesn't look like it's too much of a struggle. She looks like she's got more power over him, but, you know, have the strength in that way. Now, this is the 8th card of the Major Arcana. The 8 speaks to, for me, the astrological 8th house, which is ruled by Scorpio. But it also is the house that is dealing with other people's money. It's the house of dealing with regeneration, transformation, and metamorphosis. It also speaks to sexuality. And with Venus moving into your sign, you may be dealing with a lot of people coming at you, and you're just not in a position to where that can happen, and having the strength to deal with that. It's also the house of instincts, be them primal, basic, or instinct, or like humanistic instincts. And I also need to say that it's the house of life, death, and rebirth. So that might be the, you know, a case for maybe just one Aquarian out there, but I had to throw that out there. Now, the Strength card as a Major Arcana represents the zodiac sign of Leo, and it deals with having self-confidence. And it's really speaking to using your talent. And didn't I just say that she uses either the skills that she has or the things that are around her to make her life better? This is having the strength to use your talents. Maybe a side job. That'd be cool. That would be a good way to utilize that Martian energy in the second house. You know, extra money coming in on that side as opposed to spending it. But, the second card is another Major Arcana, so it can feel like a very karmic time for you. When I see a lot of Major Arcana, it feels like it's the situation, you're more riding the waves than you are really able to swim against them, or, you know, what am I trying to say? It feels like things may be happening to you as opposed to you being proactive. It may be feeling very reactionary is what I was trying to say. So, second card is the second Major Arcana, the High Priestess. The second, this number 2 up here, speaks to me astrologically, the astrological house of Taurus, which is your money, your possessions, your earning ability, your self-esteem, your values. The things that you could point to and say, mine would probably qualify as a second house. Now, this High Priestess as a Major Arcana card, she's representative of the moon. Now, we're having a full moon in your 5th house. That may speak to you. The moon is also the ruling luminary of Cancer. So that may be important to you in some way. But she represents the unconscious. She represents response, and she represents feeling and intuition. It could be that you may have to listen to people vent. It may be that you need to express some sort of emotion about something that maybe happened over the Thanksgiving holiday or something. But she can also be harboring secrets. And you've got a lot of 12th house energy, and that is the house of secrets. So, I'm not exactly sure how that's going to play out for you. It may be that you need to have the strength to express your emotion, or the strength to express your feelings. Because sometimes you can be a little detached about that sort of thing. That's not being ugly. That's just how I know some Aquarians that are very detached emotionally. They're very emotionally intelligent, but it's a way of protecting themselves regardless. The third card that I pulled for you, the final card is the King of Cups. And this is dealing with somebody who is emotionally intelligent and is able to express emotions well. You've got just a lot of people showing up. It's like a lot of character cards. You know, you could be dealing with, your sisters or your siblings. Sisters, siblings, same thing. Could be dealing with cousins. Could be dealing with your children, and you've got 3 girls that are arguing or just really giving you a hard time. But the one thing that I do think of when I see the King of Cups is the fact that he's got 2 cups in his hand. I always think of double fisting the drinks when I see this guy, because, the holidays can be trying. I'm not judging. Just be careful on that end. Don't end up making a fool of yourself because you're trying to numb whatever it is that you're not wanting to deal with, if that's the case. Because, the 12th house is it's dark in the fact that it's hidden. It's those hidden recesses of the mind. You may be having somebody want to have an emotional discussion with you that maybe you've been avoiding. And that's what I see for this spread, the way that it's laid out in front of me. The King of Cups is, a mature water sign. That would be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. You do have Mars moving into Pisces. It is, I see that as Mars moving into Pisces. It's like the month starts out feeling defensive or defending your ground or arguing about something or having people come at you. But I did the math on the cards here. We had the 8 for the Strength card, 2 for the High Priestess, 3 for the Empress, and 7 for the Wands. That totaled up to be 22 plus 0 is 2, and that is speaking to the house that Mars is moving into, your second house. So just be very careful with the spending. I would much rather see you use the Martian energy towards either working out to benefit your self-esteem, or doing overtime at work, or doing extra odd jobs or something to get money in that second house, as opposed to you spending the money, is how I would like to see it play out for you if, I had my druthers. Now, for the oracle cards that I pulled for you, the first is Diving for Light. And I really see this as almost a, Dark Night of the Soul card, because you have to go through some really deep waters to get through to the light. One of the first things that I think about when I see this card is that without darkness, there is no need for light. So the fact that you've probably undergone a dark time or dark times, you may just be reminiscing about it, but without that darkness, you wouldn't understand the need for light. Now, another thing is, I want you to Google seahorse symbology. That can be spirit totem or spirit animal, however you choose to Google it. But I feel like there may be messages as well for you there, because there's a lot of seahorses in this card. This card also acknowledges that there may be no justification for the situation that you've had to endure or witness or go through, but it's a calling for your empowerment through courage and bold trust. And understand that your vulnerability is a superpower for you. This card also acknowledges that it is a time of spiritual testing. And a spiritual testing it can feel like a very dark time. Now, the 11 speaks to the house that you rule on the astrological wheel. That's the 11th house ruled by Aquarius, and that's the house of your friends, your groups, your future wishes, goals, and dreams, the bucket list that you have for yourself. You could have either experienced through a friend's life some very dark, trying, testing times, or, you may have gone through it with the loss of friends or shifting of groups or even the reassessment of your dreams or your goals. And just understanding sometimes that you have to have that pruning away of whatever isn't working for you anymore to focus on what is working for you. It can be a very sad time for some people. So be gentle with yourself when it comes to that. I pulled another card for you, and it is the 17th card of the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck, and it reads, what is already with you? 1 plus 7 is 8, and that speaks to the Scorpio-ruled 8th house. You had an 8 show up before, so that house may be important to you. That's the house of life, death, and rebirth. It's the house of instinct, sexuality, regeneration, transformation, metamorphosis, and other people's money. Whenever I see the butterflies, I think of the 8th house because they start out as one thing and they are something entirely and completely different. And I also think about the journey of that, where a caterpillar is on the ground, and by the end of their transformation, by the end of their metamorphosis, their view is completely different. They're looking from above down below. I just think it's a beautiful way to think of it. But this card acknowledges that you have what you need at hand already, and that what you seek is actually nearer than you realize. This card also acknowledges that you're more ready than you are willing to accept, and that the chapter that you're in right now can have a happy ending if you desire, but you have to remain in your authentic truth. This card also indicates that you don't need an army of resources at your disposal to make this happy ending happen either. So yeah, Aquarius, a lot of energy going through the 12th house. Embrace your authenticity. Stick with it. Understand that what you've been through has been either for you to learn something or to just make you a better person. Sometimes that can be the hardest thing to hear when you're going through hell, I know. I hope that you enjoyed this reading, Aquarius. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you already have, I thank you from the bottom of my very grateful heart. I will be back for your mid-month reading closer towards the full moon. Give you a little bit more information about the full moon with that. But until then, I hope you have a wonderful, happy holiday season. And remember what it's about. Spend time with your family and your loved ones. Make memories. Those are the things that you can't necessarily buy. And those are the things that no one can take away from you. I send you many holiday greetings, and I hope that you have a blessed holiday season. Take care, Aquarius.